Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my Grue Rume Show. And for the Grue Rume Show today, we got a very great guest, and she's an actress, and her name is Michele Dawson. She's going to be in the new Halloween Ends coming out this October. And I'm really looking forward to talking to her about how she got to be part of a huge franchise like Halloween, and she's done other stuff too. So we're going to ask her about that. She's done some theater work and Criminal Minds, and she did gymnastics. So we got a lot to ask her, and I'm hoping you all come along with the ride. So we're going to be talking about a little bit about Halloween Ends, like whatever she can talk about it since the movie isn't out yet. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Rume. And my interview with Michele will be coming up very soon. This is my Grue Rume, and welcome to my nightmare. Stay tuned.
I know you're missing all this good stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, welcome to Grue, and thanks so much for taking time out and coming on the show.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. So, the first question I wanted to ask you is probably typical question that gets asked all the time is like, what drew you to want to get involved with acting?
Oh, with acting, sure. Okay, so honestly, it was just something that, so growing up, I was an only child. So I
Oh,
was
that's what I am.
Okay, great. Yeah, you get it. I mean, like I was in my imagination all the time because, you know, I grew up on a street that didn't have a lot of kids my age to play with. And so, and then your parents can only play with you so much, they need breaks and they have things to do as well. And so, I had a lot of time to myself, which meant I spent a lot of time in my imagination, just creating different scenarios and, playing with dolls and all that sort of stuff. So I built a large imagination in an early age. And then I also like enjoyed watching a lot of TV and sitcoms and things like that growing up. And it just really resonated with me. I just knew I wanted to be in there doing that, make believing, living in these, worlds that I was seeing on TV and creating these stories. And I was a gymnast growing up.
Oh, nice.
And so I did that all of like elementary school through high school. So it didn't really allow for much time for me to explore the acting stuff. It was just always something that was in me, but I wasn't actively pursuing it until I went to college. And when I went to college, that's when I was kind of, okay, you know what? I'm going to go out to LA, go to college so I can be kind of around and have my fingers close to what's going on in Hollywood. But I started to study theater and started to audition for all the main stage plays. And I was in like Macbeth, The Seagull, Skin of Our Teeth, South Pacific, and took pretty much every performing class I could, really just immersed myself in the theater experience. And then started going full force after college.
Damn. Okay. Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I'm someone that like, I really enjoy training and learning and growing and immersing myself in something. So it was when I stopped training gymnastics, and went to college, it just felt like, all right, it's time to get serious about this acting dream and this little spark that I had in me since I was little, and see what I could do with it.
Sweet. And like you say you did a lot of plays. Was there any play you had the most fun with?
Oh my gosh. I mean, they were all completely different experiences. I mean, like Macbeth was my first, ever play, and it was a huge cast and it was so much fun. Gosh, I don't know. There was probably like 30 people in our cast, large
Oh,
cast.
wow. Okay.
And we even had like a dance segment at like a banquet scene. So we had fun little dance choreography, and I'm a pretty petite person, and they had paired me with someone who was very large and tall, which added for a nice little, comedic moment. But that one, is special to me since it was, my first theater experience and true
Yeah.
theater experience. And we went on like a fun little field trip
Oh,
to,
wow.
yeah, because I went to college out in LA, and we went on a little field trip down to Long Beach to the Queen Mary and did the like haunted tour.
Nice. I like
Um,
that. Nice.
yeah, so the director was amazing. I worked with her twice actually, and she did the same thing for another show that I was in, The Seagull, where we went on a fun little field trip to Big Bear, which is about a 2-hour drive outside of LA. And she rented a cabin, and since it was The Seagull, so Russian play, and I just remember we had to like improvise for a whole night, like developing our characters. So we like had to be in character and interact with each other on that way, like the whole evening, which I love that stuff. Like I absolutely love that stuff. Like give me an idea or of a character, and I love to just build off of it. This is where the imagination stuff from my childhood really
Yeah.
comes in, because I love to just build and create and get into a character. In fact, I had this one class in college. I think it was actually one of my finals my senior year. And Ron Marasco was the teacher. And we did this final where we were supposed to be in the 1920s speakeasy.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, and so we all had to like dress up. I actually had this short blonde wig on and this cute little hat and dress and everything. And we had to be in character. So it was once again like sort of like create your own character, bring it into this environment of this 1920s speakeasy. And we did a full-on dinner and like improvised with each other for like 3 to 4 hours. And I just love that stuff.
Oh,
I love
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And yeah, like I said, like I grew up an only child too, and then that hasn't changed. I'm still an only child.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So,
I
so
definitely know about like the times like just like creating your own little world, and world where you have like brothers and sisters and stuff like that, and
yeah, lots of alone time,
yeah,
it builds your imagination,
yeah, it
and
definitely
you
does.
come up with all these different situations, scenarios, and characters you can be and play in different worlds that you might live in.
Yes, yes, definitely, for sure. And I saw like you done shorts too, and
Yeah.
one short you did was called Blood Oath. Can you tell me about that one?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember that one. That was so long ago. I remember us filming in a cemetery for
Oh,
that
wow.
one. Yeah, it was actually this like really nice cemetery. Um, and yeah, I remember it being dark. I'm trying to remember much about that. I want to say it was maybe a vampire type of story. I think
Okay.
those were very popular then.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, gosh, I'll have to like brush up on Blood Oath and remind myself, pull out that old CD I have, DVD of it, and see what's going on. Yeah, but I remember it being an enjoyable experience, and anytime you get to be like on set in a real location,
Mhm.
that always adds a nice fun element to things. So yeah, being in an actual cemetery
Yeah, I
always
know, that's crazy.
helps elevate situations and always makes it easier for then the imagination to take over when you
Oh,
have that
yeah.
real environment you can see around you.
Wow. And how was it like being on set for such a huge show like like Criminal Minds?
Criminal Minds, yeah. That was my first like, TV credit. So the
Oh,
first time that I
nice.
got to say, like, oh, people are always asking, like when you're an actor, people are always like, oh, what have I seen you in? You know what I mean? And so it was sort of like when I booked Criminal Minds, it was like, yes, I've got something recognizable. Like everybody in the world has heard of Criminal Minds. Like I can be like,
Exactly.
yeah, I was in Criminal Minds, you know? So for me, that, you know, just felt amazing. And yeah, being in a show like that, that has such recognition, it was great. And once
Nice.
again, my scenes majority were filmed at night again, and it was nice. You see a theme here. And yeah, and so we were outside in a park in the dark, and it was so cool, you know, like being such a large show, they had like
Mhm.
huge, you know, cranes and lights, you know, lighting us, but still keeping it look like dark. And so, yeah,
Okay.
to be on something of that scale was great. And it was, well, it wasn't the first time. I'd worked with a stunt coordinator a couple of times, but yeah, I got to
Nice.
work with a little stunt coordinator just for a little thing. Um, and so that was fun. And I remember before it got dark, actually, in the park, there was a prop that was on me that I used that was sticky. And well, not really a prop, but there was some special effects makeup on me that was sticky. And and it was attracting ants. and so
Oh
and so
no.
and so I remember at one point, like Shamar Moore is like picking ants off of me.
Oh, oh,
It's
that's
pretty
horrible.
funny.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, I'm always, you know, down for whatever needs to be done to make a show and project the best it needs to be. And if that means getting a little
And an ant
dirty or
on
a little sticky or a little ant here and there, so be it. So yeah, so that was a great experience. And in my opinion, I mean, I think that's actually like the best episode of Criminal Minds. It was such a fun episode because it's
Nice.
also like, yeah, there was a lot going on. It was a really cool episode. Yeah. And the fun thing was I found out before I shot the episode that a friend of mine from college was
Mhm.
also going to be in the episode. And
Really?
then, yeah, and then a couple months later, I'm at a Christmas party and find out that another friend had been, this was before the episode aired,
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Um, I was like, you know, we were catching up and I was like, oh, I just did this episode of Criminal Minds. And he was like, me too. And we're like describing it. And we're like, turned out we're in the same episode.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
So, you know, it's hilarious and great like that. But yeah, that was such a great experience. And it's
Nice.
really cool because now they're rebooting it. So
Okay.
that's, yeah, so that's really fun. Excited to see where that goes.
Awesome. Hey, they might ask you to come back again. You never know.
You never know. Anything's possible.
Exactly. So, I wanted to ask, like, how did you get involved with being in Halloween Ends? Like, Halloween is definitely a franchise that's been around since the 1970s.
Yeah,
And
before I was around. Yeah.
so you're part of like this horror franchise now.
Yeah, super exciting. So how I became a part of it was pretty much just, you know, the way that most actors are. I actually submitted myself though. I guess that's where it's a little different. I submitted myself. I saw the breakdown on one of the actor casting sites. And being the little hustler that I am, I was like, oh, this breakdown sounds fun and doable and something that like resonated with me. I felt like it was, yeah, it spoke to me. And so I was like, okay. So I
Nice.
submitted, got the audition. It happened to actually be over Thanksgiving last year that I
Really?
had received the audition invitation. And so thank goodness I didn't have any out of town plans or anything. And, you know, it's always sort of like an acting joke with me. Like um, when a holiday weekend comes around and everybody else is off, that's when I get auditions. So Michelle goes to work when everyone else is off partying and whatever. So anyway, yeah, the audition came in. It was yeah, I got it turned in during the Thanksgiving weekend. And then I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks went by and I had a call back. And at the time, they actually were using a fake title for the movie. And so I actually didn't
Oh,
even know that it was a part of Halloween. And
wow.
And the sides they had given me, there was nothing even alluding to the fact. I mean, to be honest, I didn't even know that it was a horror film just based off of
Yeah, really.
my audition. Yeah, what they gave me to audition with. So yeah, so that was cool. So then I did the callback, and then that's when some things started to be suggested that this was maybe different than what I originally thought it was. And I still didn't know that it was Halloween Ends or part of the Halloween franchise, still had no idea. And
Yeah,
then, yeah, it wasn't until after I booked it. And so then it was like, are you kidding me?
I know. I know.
Like, this is crazy cool. Like, I had no earthly idea. It's like an amazing surprise. I was like,
Wow.
really, that thing I just booked is like a part of it's one of like the most revered horror movies ever, that
Exactly.
with this horror franchise that's huge. Yeah, so yeah, I'm still pinching myself. I'm like, that is a cool story. Like, I had no
Yeah,
idea.
that
And then it's
definitely
like,
is.
surprise, guess what you're in.
Oh my God. Because I mean, Halloween Ends for like horror fans like me. It's been everyone is really excited to see it. Like all the horror fans are talking about it. Of course, Jamie Lee Curtis is Laurie Strode again. And did you get to work with Jamie and James Jude Courtney, who plays Michael Myers?
I probably shouldn't expand on that too much right now.
Okay.
But yes, I will say that uh, I did work with Jamie Lee Curtis, but yeah, I guess you're gonna have to stay tuned. Um,
Yeah, no, I
stay tuned to October 14th.
totally
Um,
get it.
but yeah, I mean, like, just her presence. I'd see her in the makeup trailer and things like that. She's so witty, so funny. Just, makes everybody feel at home and welcomed right away.
Oh wow.
She just, brings the confidence to set. She's so comfortable in this, world of Haddonfield and the role of Laurie Strode. And it just, you can tell that it feels like home to her, and that
Yeah.
confidence just exudes, everywhere, and benefits everyone that she's around.
Oh, man, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
It's always good to hear when like a big name person like Jamie Lee Curtis, like that she's down to earth and
Yeah.
don't have a big head or anything, you know?
Oh yeah. She's so witty, so funny, and just, yeah, kind
That's
person.
that's that's
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah.
And, and you're playing Nurse Deb in Halloween Ends, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nurse Deb. She's fun.
Okay, okay. Okay. I know you probably can't say like anything about Nurse Deb until the movie's out, right?
Well, she's, what I can say about Nurse Deb is she's a little duplicitous. Um, she's very driven,
Okay.
and because of that, um, she's rather aggressive. And yeah, she's someone that likes to get what she wants. So yeah, she's a blast to play. I hope people enjoy watching her as much as I had fun playing her. So
Awesome. Nice.
yeah.
And by being in a movie like Halloween Ends, I have to ask you, what are some horror films that you like to watch?
Yeah, so I've been getting like this question a lot, of course. And to be honest, like, I was a big scaredy cat growing up. Also, part of being an
Okay.
only child meant that being home alone
Mm,
made me nervous. I'd start to, like we said, imagine things that aren't there. So I kind of had to steer clear of a lot of horror films,
okay.
things like that. But more recently, I'm embracing the genre, and
Oh,
obviously have like jumped into like all the Halloweens. Of course, like, as soon as I learned, I was like, let's jump into this world. I want to learn everything. I want to see what's going on. So of course I'm partial to the Halloweens, and the original one is probably
yes.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Although I have to say the 2018 Halloween, which was the first of the trilogy that David Gordon Green did that we're completing with Halloween Ends. I would say that one's probably my second favorite.
That was a really good movie. Like it was
It
really
was.
well done, and
I agree.
yeah, like it was a great way to bring Laurie back.
Yeah, 100%. Mhm.
Yeah, it was a really well made movie, and when Halloween, the one we're talking about, the
Halloween.
2018 one,
Mhm.
when that came out, I actually interviewed the actor that plays Michael Myers James,
Nice.
and he's like the sweetest guy. Like it was I was like, wow, I see you're playing Michael Myers and you're so nice.
It's funny how that happens, right?
I know, exactly.
I know. Yeah, yeah.
And I always ask guests this, like, what music do you like listening to? Like, what's on your playlist?
Oh, what a fun question. Um, to be honest, I mean, this sounds almost a little bit like a cop out, but I do enjoy a lot of variety of music. I used to say that I did not like EDM. However, recently some people have introduced me to some sort of like house music that I've been okay with. Um, I typically like happier things,
Okay.
things that are upbeat. But yet at the same time, I love a lot of like music from the 90s. I like, some alternative rock, some, classic rock. Uh, I love oldie music as well, music from like
Okay.
the 50s and 60s.
Nice.
Yeah, 70s. I really like a lot of music. I also enjoy, I'm literally the person that just, I'll get in my car. I have an older car. And so I'll just, punch like radio stations until I'm like, oh,
Okay.
that song, Um, but yeah, and then Spotify's like, you're crazy. Like all your playlists are so nuts. Like I like a little country. I actually really enjoy like popular country these days as
Nice.
well. But yeah, I don't know, pop music as well. I like things that get me moving a little bit that have, like I said, up tempo beats. I
Okay.
really like there's not much I don't like.
Nice.
Kind of depends what mood I'm in, I guess.
Okay. and and the last two questions I'm going to ask you first is, what would be your go-to karaoke song if you were out?
Okay, the thing that just comes into my mind right now, is like the first thing. Okay, now I have two. Now I have two. Be careful, I might get more. So the first two that pop into my mind, I actually had some friends that went karaokeing last week, and I'm like
Nice.
watching their Instagram stories because I wasn't able to make it.
Oh, okay.
But watching their Instagram stories, and I was like, oh, I would have killed it if I was there with them. That looks so much fun. So one would probably be Spice Girls. I tell you what I want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's such a fun, silly song to get up with your girlfriends and just be ridiculous and go full force with. It's just fun. I like things that are fun. And then second, probably a little Backstreet Boys. I Want It That Way.
That's always a crowd pleaser.
Which also I feel like is very fitting for Nurse Deb. I actually feel like
Oh,
those would be, I feel like those would be good karaoke songs for her too.
okay, sweet, sweet. And if if you're going out this year for Halloween, do you have a costume ready? Like, do you have an idea who you want to dress up as this year if you go out for Halloween?
To be honest, I am so focused on October 14th. That's my Halloween right now. I haven't thought of anything in addition. But yeah, I'm sure I'll do something. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have any suggestions? What should I dress up
Oh,
as?
yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. You know me, I'm going straight to like horror. Like I would think of like the Bride of Chucky or something like that. You know?
Oh, I feel like I need to stay within my franchise.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you could dress up as Laurie Strode. I mean, yeah.
There we go. There we go. Yeah.
And where can fans follow you at?
Oh yeah. So I'm primarily Instagram is the main avenue of social media that I use. So you can find me at it's Michele Dawson. Yeah, with one L and Michelle.
Well, oh, there we go. Okay. Well, me and this little guy want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. You guys are so cute. Does he have a little t-shirt on, or is that
He
his
does,
harness?
yeah.
Or...
Yeah, he has like a little t-shirt on, his little harness, and
Oh, is it camo?
yeah, yeah.
So cute. Oh, I love it. I love it.
I mean, you got like a little cute face like this, and then you got Chucky in the background, right?
You got to cover all the bases, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know? Well, once again, thanks for taking time out of your night and coming on the show. I really
Thanks for having me,
appreciate it.
Rocco.
Yeah, it was really fun talking to you. You're really awesome. You're funny.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. It's great talking with you as well. Thanks for having
Thank,
me.
yeah, of course. Well, we'll definitely have a great night and great rest of the week.
Thank you. You too.
Thank